What's going on, guys? It's your boy Andy Matrix. I'm back with another video, and I like to do these videos where I do some predictions, right? And of course, we're doing this for fun, because this is just a prediction. This doesn't mean that it's actually going to happen. I'm making these judgments based on what happened in 2025, so looking at what's gonna happen in 2026, and this is with anime, gaming, and of course Japan, because that's where anime comes from.
Hello, this is Yami Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! And make sure to subscribe to Andy Matrix's channel. Now on with the show.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. I am here at japantimes.com, and it says in 2025 anime tightened its grip abroad and played it safe at home. It said the biggest story of the year anime was expected but still somehow stunning success of Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle, which broke multiple box office records during its opening week and is currently Japan's second highest grossing film of all time. Right? And yeah, so Demon Slayer did absolutely fantastic in the box office. I mean, it broke records. Like, you know very well that there's going to be more anime coming to theaters. There's going to be more anime coming to theaters, and anime is going to be raking in big profits. Big profits. And the reason why is because as Hollywood is going down the drain, Hollywood movies are absolute garbage. 2025 was a bad year for Hollywood, you know? And there weren't a lot of things. There weren't a lot of like good movies out there. A lot of them flopped. A lot of them were just garbage, had bad reviews, just left a bad taste in people's mouth. Just basically what we've been getting for the last like 5-6 years, since a little bit before the pandemic. So 2025 was the year of the anime cinema, and expect more of that. And I also, hold on a second, I also want to read this to you. This is from automation.media.com. It says, Neon Genesis Evangelion director Hideaki Anno doesn't believe creating the global market is the way to go. I'm sorry, but the audience will have to be the one to adapt. So basically, the creator of Neon Genesis Evangelion, he's saying that they're not going to go with the globalist agenda, right? They're not going to go with the globalist agenda of making anime for a global audience, or really what it is for the Western audience. That's what it is. That's where the pressure is at. They want Japan to make anime for the West, focus on the West, and that's not going to happen because that's not what makes anime really good. It's not going to happen. And there's going to be more manga artists, directors pushing this perspective. Being on the side of anime fans, just saying, hey, you know what? Sorry, but we're not going to do this for the global market. We're going to do this the Japanese way. We're going to put it out there. If you like it, take it. If you don't, send it right back. And I like that attitude because that's what made anime absolutely amazing. Okay? And I just want to take a look at some of the box office records here. So here at Box Office Mojo, in 2025, Demon Slayer raked in $714 million. Close. That's like three-fourths of $1 billion. So it was very, very close to reaching $1 billion. But if we add in Infinity Train, that's like over $1 billion. So the Demon Slayer franchise alone has been super successful in the movie theaters. This was very, very, very well done. Very, very well done. And again, this is an anime raking in this type of money in the box office. We're not seeing these numbers from Hollywood this year or last year very much. We're not seeing these numbers from Hollywood. And also remember the Chainsaw Man movie, the Rest Arc. I don't know if it's still in theaters. I don't know for how long it's going to be in theaters. I have not watched it. I'll probably watch it when it comes out on Crunchyroll. But the Chainsaw Man anime, the movie, the Chainsaw Man movie made $155 million. Very good. Very good. And it was in 3,000 theaters. As opposed to Demon Slayer. How many theaters was it in? It doesn't say. Damn it. Whatever. So I believe one of the reasons why... Hold on a second. Wait. He says domestic. What about international? Damn it. Worldwide. All right. Never mind. Hold on. Going back to, if I can, okay. So the Chainsaw Man movie. This is actually a good number because remember, to make an anime movie, it doesn't take the same amount of money as it does for a Hollywood movie. For an anime movie, all they need is like $10 million. And $10 million, they raked in $155 million. That is a success. That is an absolute success, my friends. Okay, now let's go ahead and keep moving. What else? Oh yes, so here on MediaPlayNews.com it says Netflix Ted Sarandos says that movie theaters are dying. Movie theaters are dying, and Netflix is going to be the dominating force of Western Hollywood, of American Hollywood. You know, recently Netflix was trying to buy Warner Bros. And the deal is closing. About $80 billion. The deal is closing. So now there is a monopoly in the movie industry. Or Amazon. I think Amazon bought MGM. Disney bought Fox. Netflix bought Warner Bros. And Paramount, I don't even know what's happening with Paramount, but I'm pretty sure Paramount, somebody's going to buy it out. Somebody's going to buy out Paramount. It's going to happen eventually. You know, it's going to happen eventually. But there's a monopoly on everything. And I think it's gonna ruin creativity. It's gonna be so corporate that I imagine the creators, the directors, the creators, they're gonna have, you know, either they're gonna have trouble with creativity. We're not really gonna see many original movies out there, and the movies that we are going to see are gonna be, you know, very controlled. You know, the storytelling is gonna be very controlled. That's what I think, at least. You know. But yeah, there's a monopoly. There's a big monopoly, and since Hollywood is falling, this is like the perfect time for indie creators to come in and give us something good, because people are craving originality. People are also craving things outside of the Hollywood sphere, outside of the Netflix sphere. Some people like to see independent creators, independent movie makers, right? So, especially with AI, I believe that we're probably going to see more of that. More independent artists, you know, creating movies without Hollywood. Without a third party, better said. I hope that happens. So, we're probably also going to see more unemployment in the movie industry. You know, there's freaking unemployment everywhere. So, wonder how that's going to go. And then, of course, you have prospect.org. It says Netflix aims for entertainment domination. They are trying to pay Warner Bros. Discover $82 billion merger. Here's why it's a terrible idea. Okay, so this headline here from Prospect.org says that Netflix aims domination. Yeah, they aim for domination, and I think it's gonna happen. It's already happening. You know, Netflix has the biggest subscription base on the entire planet. I think they have. If I'm not mistaken, I think they have about 300 million subscribers, 200 to 300 million subscribers. I think Disney Plus got 100 million. Probably less than that by now, because they've lost a lot of subscribers over the last few years, you know, due to their stupidity. But Netflix still has the biggest subscriber count, because Netflix is all over the world. All over the world, in many countries, Netflix has at least 3 million subscribers in each country. So think about that. You know, and they make a lot of content for, you know, just all over the world, from many countries, different languages, different cultures. Netflix is working, man. They're working. They're doing it. So as Hollywood is dying, and let's face it, it's not just Hollywood is dying, but people rather watch their movies, TV shows, and anime on Netflix, on a streaming platform. Now, especially if you live in America, like, people have become so antisocial that many times they don't even want to go out anywhere, you know? And I think Netflix is going to experiment with releasing movies in theaters, but for a certain amount of time. They might have a movie in theaters for, like, I don't know, maybe 6 months, and then after 6 months they'll put it on the streaming platforms. I think that's what they're gonna do. You know, it makes sense. Because especially if movie companies, if the theater companies like AMC make a deal with Netflix saying, hey, put your movies out for like 6 months, you know, before they go on the streaming platform, and that will help the movie generate some income. They can generate, maybe in the 6 months, they can generate like $100 million before they go on the streaming platform. That'll be a good idea. What else we got? So now let's go into gaming. So for gaming here at GameDeveloper.com, it says, "Are we headed for a second video game crash?" Right? And I was reading this article. Says there were several reasons for the crash in the 1980s, but the main cause was super saturation of the market with hundreds of mostly low quality games, which resulted in loss of consumer confidence. Gee, I wonder, does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar to you? Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like basically what's happening now. It's like they want to increase the price of games that are low quality. I mean, look at Nintendo in the most recent Pokemon game. Like the graphics are absolutely horrendous, but they want you to pay $80 for that shit, you know? It's crazy. And I don't think it's going to happen. I think that, as people are starting to rebel and vote with their wallet, as I like to say, there's going to be a video game crash. They're not, the video game industry is not going to be making, enough money with with new games. And they're going to have to take a step back and say, you know what, maybe we should just take a step back, right? And let's make different plans for our upcoming games. Let's stop spending $500 million on games like Concord, right? And putting it behind a paywall. People want their one-player games, right? They want their one-player games where, like God of War, like Final Fantasy, games like that. Hot Wars Legacy, those types of games. They want their one-player game, not just these online games, these MMOs. There's way too many of them. There's way too many of them. Anyways, let's go ahead and keep moving. Here, escapistmagazine.com says video games will likely cost $100 soon, thanks to GTA 6, according to ex-Call of Duty director. Yeah, so they were thinking of making GTA 6 $100. I think it's going to fail. No, first of all, I think they are going to do that. They're probably going to put the game out there for $100. And then after like the first month, they might drop the price to like $70. But they're becoming absolutely greedy with these games. They spend hundreds of $millions producing a game, right? Producing a game, and then they want to charge you money out the ass for it. It's absolutely unacceptable. And nobody wants to spend $100 on a game. And then not only is it going to cost $100, but then I bet you there's going to be other things you got to pay for within the game. You're going to put a paywall on something, like maybe like an item or something that you got to unlock, that you got to pay for. And then that's when people are going to be like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to do this. I'm not paying for this. I'll wait a year later when the price drops to like $70, $60. But this is ridiculous. So $100 games, I do believe they're on the horizon. But if developers and gaming studios decide to sell their games for this price, they're gonna, they're not gonna sell very much, especially in this economy. America being one of the biggest consumer markets of video games, right? In this economy where everybody's losing their jobs, the media doesn't report it, but I believe, looking at everything, we're probably at about 5 million jobs lost, 5 million layoffs. The job market in America is horrible. Very few people are trying to buy games, man. We are not in a type of economy where like people are spending money willy-nilly, very confident with their credit cards. Nah, man. People don't want to pull out their credit cards. They're trying to say it's either people are focusing on rent and food. That is the priority. Right now, video games are a luxury. So these gaming companies, they got to think about the pricing. You want people to buy your games? Think about the price. And we are here at backmarket.com. It says why 2025 has seen a retro gaming boom. Yes, so as prices continue to go up with gaming, as gaming has become a bit pricier, it used to be an affordable hobby, but not anymore. So a lot of people, a lot of gamers, they're just going back in time, myself included. I went back and started playing Nintendo DS games. I went back and started playing, old PS2 games and GameCube games because, I'm just not very motivated by a lot of the games that are coming out nowadays. So in 2025, there was an increase of people, just playing retro games, going back and playing Mario, going back and playing PS2 games, Nintendo DS games, old PlayStation games, retro, going back in time. And it's the same thing with everything. Like a lot of things in the modern day suck. That even with music, people like you got Gen Z going back to listening to 1980s music. That's how much modern music sucks nowadays. That Gen Z is going back and listening to 1980s rock, 1980s pop. They're listening to freaking city pop from Japan, the 1980s. Yeah, so retro gaming, they're going to continue to become popular next year, right? 2026, we're probably going to see more people, playing more retro games, going back in time, more of these retro stuff, right? And here on CNBC.com it says Xbox is losing the console race by miles. It's part of Microsoft's big gaming pivot. So look, Xbox is dead. Sorry, Bill Gates, but Xbox is dead. And I think 2026 might be the year where we might see Xbox just the final nail on the coffin. Just Bill Gates digging a hole, digging a grave for Xbox. 2026 might be that year because very few people are buying it, It's not like before where like the Xbox will sell at least 50 million copies in America. But no, man, you got people, I think it was in 2025, the new Xbox only sold 1 million copies. While everybody was buying a Nintendo Switch 2, buying a new PC. Like the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck sold way more than the Xbox last year. Yeah. So 2026, we're probably gonna see, Xbox just stop production, stop production, and Microsoft, they're just gonna have the Xbox Game Pass. They're gonna be, basically the Netflix of gaming. You wanna stream games? Sign up for the Xbox Game Pass, and you're all set. But as far as a console, I don't think so. I mean, they did release the Asus, the Xbox ROG handheld gaming device, which I think, it looks pretty cool, but the brand has been damaged. Like at this point, just buy a Steam Deck, and you're good to go. And here on Reddit, people are talking about 2026 being a good year for PC gaming. It says PC gaming has won the ecosystem wars, right? So PC gaming has become so much more convenient. It has become very, 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 very convenient. And it has become more accessible, especially with things like the Steam Deck and all these handheld gaming PCs like the Asus ROG 7. It has made PC gaming more affordable. It has made it more easier. You don't have to buy a tower, right? I paid more than $1,000 for my gaming PC. But with everything that's coming out, like the Steam Deck, the Asus, and all these handheld devices, like PC gaming has become much more affordable. For $700, you can have a gaming PC in your hands, and start playing God of War, whatever other PS5 game you wanted to play. Yeah, so 2025 definitely a good year for PC. 2026, I do see it as a year where we're probably going to see more people switching to PC gaming, right? And the flaw in PC gaming is that you're basically buying digital games, right? And a lot of more people want their physical games. But on the upside, the great thing about PC gaming, if you're buying it from Steam, Grok, and Epic Games, is that they have discounts running year-round. So you can literally buy one of your favorite games or a game that you always wanted to play for like 50% off, 25% off, right? Sometimes they've done I've seen games for like 80% off, right? So you just gotta go on Steam and watch for those promotions and those discounts, and you can eventually get a game for like very, very cheap. That's the great thing about PC gaming is the sales. Even like bestseller games, they're usually on sale, like Final Fantasy. You know, so be on the lookout for that. The great thing about PC gaming, 2026, I believe we're gonna see more devices probably related to PC gaming, and more people opting in for PC gaming and giving up console. Giving up console, you know, it's just more convenient. It's like the cell phone. It's just the convenience of having a gaming PC in your hands. It's just fantastic. You really can't beat it. So that's gonna be it, guys. Anime 2026. Expect more anime in theaters in 2026. And Netflix, more Netflix dominance 2026. What else did we talk about? The video game crash 2026 is probably gonna get a lot worse, and we're just gonna see more people playing retro games, going back in time, such and such. So yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Whatever you guys think, make sure to comment below, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for future notifications, guys. Let me know what you think, comment below, and I'll see you in the next video. It's your boy Andy Matrix. Godspeed, baby.